Hey y'all. So let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of Hebrews chapter 7. As always, we're going to start with the chapter context. So, chapters 5 and 6 detoured from the main theme in order to present a warning about faithlessness, there we go, and apostasy. Hold on. Chapter 7 returns to the topic of Melchizedek, who represents a mysterious but important moment in the Old Testament history. Here, the author will show how he was superior to Abraham, and that his priesthood is superior to the priesthood of Aaron. This leads into the next chapters, which show how Jesus Christ peacefully fulfills our salvation in ways which the old covenant cannot. So let's get into the breakdown part 1. I wish my glasses would stay. So in chapter 5, the author of Hebrews began to explain how Jesus functions as humanity's ultimate perfect high priest. This includes a reference to the mysterious Melchizedek, a figure from the Old Testament story of Abraham. That explanation was interrupted with one of this letter's many warnings against faithlessness and apostasy. Chapter 6 was mostly taken up by this warning, but before returning to the topic of Melchizedek through a series of metaphors related to God's promises. So, here in chapter 7, the author dives into this discussion of the priesthood of Melchizedek. The main point being made starting here is that Christ is the ultimate and perfect fulfillment of God's promises. So our covenant with him is superior in all ways to the covenant of the Levitical law. This is crucial for the letter's original audience, persecuted Jewish Christians. This ideal is so important, in fact, that the author will spend a great deal of time discussing it. Of all the explanations given in the book of Hebrews, this is the longest running here in chapter 7, all the way through the beginning of chapter 10. Y'all, this man's name is eating me up, okay? So, in short, Melchizedek serves as a metaphor for the ministry of Jesus Christ. While the Old Testament separated the line from kings from the line of priests, Melchizedek holds both titles, Genesis 14:18. His lack of genealogy, at least in record, symbolizes a lack of either beginning or end. And since he is honored by Abraham, his priesthood is logically superior to that of Abraham's children, the priests of Israel. God promised to establish a prophetic figure in the priesthood of Melchizedek. Psalms 110, verse 4, is fulfilled only in Jesus Christ. Y'all, I don't know why my voice trying to go out. So chapter 7 begins by making two basic points. First, Melchizedek's superior to Abraham and to the Aaronic priest. Yeah. This is proven by Abraham's respect for Melchizedek by giving titles. At the same time, Melchizedek is symbolically lacking in genealogy in a poetic sense. He has neither beginning nor end. According to the writer of Hebrews, this, in a sense, is the same way in which Christ's priesthood is without beginning or end, as is without beginning or end. The second main point is that the priesthood of Melchizedek is greater than the priesthood of Aaron or the other Levitical priests. The system of the law established under Moses was imperfect and only temporary. Jesus, on the other hand, is the high priest of a perfect covenant, one which can completely save and which never ends. Yes. To make this point, the author refers to the Old Testament scriptures and compares the strengths and weakness of the two orders. Jesus is superior to the priests of the Old Covenant since he is deathless, eternal, and without sin. This explanation of Melchizedek's priesthood will continue into chapter 8 and beyond, having established that the priesthood of Jesus is superior to the priesthood, of Aaron, however you pronounce his name from back then. The author will begin to explain how Jesus' work as our high priest is also superior. Okay. Whew. That's still cold, thank you. So, let's get into the breakdown part 2. So, Hebrews chapter 7 explains that Jesus Christ is superior, eternal high priest in the order of Melchizedek, not the temporary Levitical priesthood, meaning he offers a perfect one-for-all sacrifice himself. And what a sacrifice it was, thank you, Jesus, that secures eternal salvation, making the old law and its priests obsolete and inadequate for true connection with God, ushering in a new, better covenant. The chapter deals with Melchizedek's mysterious, timeless nature, king of righteousness, peace, no genealogy, as a foreshadowing type of Christ, proving that God intended a permanent priesthood established by oath, not human lineage, ultimately highlighting Jesus' unique ability to save believers completely and forever. Period. Okay, so three key meanings in Hebrews 7. Number 1, Melchizedek as a type of Christ, verses 1 through 10. Melchizedek was a king of Salem, meaning peace, and Christ of the Most High God who blessed Abraham, showing his superior status. Abraham, the ancestor of the Levites who became priests, gave Melchizedek a tithe, signifying Melchizedek's priesthood was higher than the future Levitical one. He is describing as having no beginning or ends of days, a model for Christ's eternal priesthood. Number 2, superiority of Christ's priesthood, verses 11 through 25. The law Levitical priesthood could not bring perfection, but God promised a priest forever in the order of Melchizedek, pointing to Jesus. Come on now. Jesus' priesthood isn't based on fragile mortal men, Levites, but on God's powerful oath, making him a permanent, perfect high priest. And then perfect salvation through Jesus, verses 25 through 28. Because Jesus is this perfect, sinless, eternal high priest, he can save people to the uttermost, completely and forever. He offered himself as a one perfect sacrifice, unlikely the daily repeated sacrifices of the old system, which couldn't deal with sin permanently. So in essence, Hebrews chapter 7 argues that Jesus' priesthood is eternally superior, fulfilling and replacing the old system, offering lasting salvation through his perfect sacrifice and unending intercession. Notes center for excellence in preaching. Isn't Jesus great? Jesus is so great. He is so amazing. And that sacrifice, man, what a sacrifice it was. I love that, man. I love me some Jesus, okay? All right, y'all. That is all I have for the full breakdown of Hebrews chapter 7. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.